And welcome in today's episode of Blockrevision recap of 2021 and also episode full of forecasts for 2022. So today I'll be publishing without my posture, without camera, as we have holidays in Poland on 5th of January and also tomorrow. So yeah, my office is officially closed, so I need to record at home, and that's why I'm using just my computer and mobile microphone. So the quality might be a little bit worse, but I hope that quality of content, not the video but the content, will be of the best. Okay, so today we'll be talking about stock market forecasts, stock market also recap of what has happened during recent year. And in tomorrow's episode I'll be broadcasting an episode about forecasts for cryptocurrency market. So today stocks, tomorrow cryptos. Hope you enjoy. If you enjoy, just don't forget about likes, and also subscribe to the channel if you find the videos informative. So let's begin. Okay, so I have for you a bunch of statistics. So first one is a chart that shows up the liquidity on stock market. We have recently gone through a phase with a excessive liquidity due to this stimulus given out left and right on US and also other markets, and right now we may be suffering a liquidity crisis when those money will be taken out of the table. So right now we can expect from S&P that it will slump in the future as this liquidity is running out. However, just because the market had a big year in 2021, it doesn't mean the upside is limited in 2022. In fact, the S&P 500 has historically traded higher in years following at least 20% gains. As we've seen in 2021, S&P 500 registered nearly 30% gains totally. So it means the next year might be the year of maybe slowing down this growth, but as we would find, as always, also JP Morgan says, don't fear a sharp sell-off even with record concentration in stocks, as investors are too bearish about Omicron and central banks, and the time is right to consider risky stocks, analysts said. So this year also, as we've seen, is opening with some growth potential. If we just get to SPY right now is on 4th of January has marked another top, and right now is stretching out a bit further. So this year starts out with a quite a good potential. However, US 100 is correcting a little bit, but it's still within this safe territory of 16,000 points. Right now for US 100 we have a strong support at 15,730, and that might be a level that will be defended. So putting this into context, don't be afraid of this liquidity running out as of yet, but in the future you may take a notice on that the money is gradually being put off the table. On the other hand, there are also some countries that are injecting some cash into the market. Right now, China is triggering gains in bonds. So right now, maybe not stocks, but the bonds are being put in favor of some central banks. So we need to observe where the money is flowing and need to follow that stream. So PBOC is one of those central banks that right now is pumping 200 billion yuan of cash into the financial system through 7-day reverse repurchase agreements. So right now we can find that this phase of giving out easy money hasn't ended yet. So the conclusion is right. In the US, aside from what China is doing, in the US, liquidity is reversing, and while stocks haven't responded yet, they eventually will. But will it happen in 2022? JP Morgan says it's still a good time to buy. So whether to hear or not, we may think that it's still the fear on the markets, and it doesn't mean we have entered a final phase of market growth, that is euphoric phase that nearly always is neglecting any single bad news. So right now, definitely liquidity case is a point worth keeping an eye on, but right now I shouldn't bother about this. We can find as a one of the recap of where we were during recent year. Right now, S&P 500 index all-time highs has been noted 69 times. So right now, this chart of annual all-time highs has been floating around, and clusters of years with all-time highs eventually leads to a cluster without them. But right after such tendency, we would rather expect to have 2022 with maybe lower amount of this all-time highs than rather not, as after just look at the tension that happened on 95th. Now we can find that right after this year has ended, we found the amount of investors, the fresh blood on the markets has flocked the market flow, and right now we can expect this bar to reach about even 40 or 50 if we look at this tendency in 2022. So 2022 might be a good, relatively good year regarding previous, but maybe a bit worse than the last one. In order to explore where we are and where we are heading right now, there's an interesting chart of Kondratieff full season rotation. Just look at this. So we have different phases of a market structure where we are just going through from spring, where best investments are stocks, real estates, bonds enter bear market. Right after this summer, with commodities, gold booms, real estate, homes, bonds, bear market, and right now, so it was runaway inflation with interest rates soar. Right now we just started seeing such countries as Hungary or Czech Republic or Poland rising interest rates. However, we haven't seen this yet on US markets. So I would say we are still rather in a in this phase where inflation increases. With a start of inflation just going to runaway inflation, so where best investments were stocks and real estates, right now we are heading right to commodities boom, gold, real estate, and bonds bear market. So I would find that 2022 narration will be runaway inflation, where we start soaring interest rates. We start watching soaring interest rates, also debt been built, capital goods sector overbuilds, and stocks make no progress. So that might be a flat year for stocks, flat year for cryptos. However, some commodities will still have its momentum, and also maybe gold will just take off of this triangle that's been formed throughout months since March of 2021. So it may be a year of a gold topping out, reaching 2000 and even higher levels. Also very interesting chart is a silver, where we have just possibly found a bottom at around 21.47 US dollars, and when we have a look at a monthly chart, we can find that these bottoms has right now formed a support that previously been set as resistance right back in 2008 and also 2016. So maybe that might be a year of silver and gold. We will find out. So heading back to Kondratieff seasons, these seasonal cycles and attempt to apply this knowledge to the current market dynamics, we can find that next year may be much more robust than many people think is possible. So US consumers are still very active in the economy, homes are still selling, and the post-COVID recovery strengthens. So that may be something that may catch up a very good sentiment in the coming year. So quarter one might be a good year for stocks, for US stocks as well. However, in the coming quarters, in the next quarters, maybe it will be a commodities and real estate time more than stocks one. So what is prediction for the next few months? So with low investor positioning, record buybacks, limited systematic amplifiers, and positive January seasonals, we can find that first quarter might be very good for stocks. That may be even an euphoric phase regarding what this sentiment may bring to us investors. However, if you haven't invested yet and considering this in 2022, just bear in mind what are possible risks that may happen on US stock market. So even if the first quarter may be good, there are still COVID variants that may be a threat to a US stock market with this, I would say, conspiracy theory statics, or we may find, but as we have found, a lot of conspiracy theories have had its ground into reality. So with this one, we can find that even when this Omicron will go out, we could find that there are some other possible COVID variants to visit and threat the market. So we have still kind of a schedule of pandemic in this table. You need to just stay reserved when looking at this table, but there might be true regarding there are still a few variants need to be discovered. So the possible outlook for US stock market is to thrive in the first quarter of this year. I would suggest you to at first just consider possible risk of investments as well, even if there might be a very good environment for stocks to go up, you still need to be secured and have kind of a hedge when bigger correction will come out. So what might be those threats to US markets? That may be definitely another variant of COVID-19 with this statistics constructed with some, I would say, conspiracy theory, but as we found recently within the last 2 years, lots of those conspiracy theories are heavily been grounded into reality. We can find that with some expectations, with some emphasis, we can find that there might be kind of a true. There are some COVID variants still yet to be discovered. So as we could trust this table, Omicron will or is about to threat the markets on May 2022. There are still some letters in Greek alphabet that may represent another COVID variants yet to be discovered, such as Sigma, Epsilon, or Omega. So just bear in mind. There are still possibly COVID-19 narrations still brought to the market that may be an opportunity for bear to take over bulls, at least for some whiles. So okay, if we have been told about it, just remember that next year, even if shouldn't be considered as a possible year of bears, we need to still turning on our responsible investing mode, and need to be probably in mind that the era of irresponsible bullishness might be over, and not every single stock will go up. So I'm really glad that you have discovered my channel. Hopefully here we will talk about the possibly best investments and also best trades on the market. We'll also talk about possibly some short-sided trades. So even when the stocks are going down, then there might be an opportunity for us. So right now I would like to say that my forecast for 2022 is more like bullish, but with a high responsibility. So also we need to keep in mind that when every single one is getting bullish, there may be a possible alarm to get scared. So that's it for today's episode, and see you tomorrow in Crypto's forecasts.